You know, some stories, they don't need ghosts or monsters to be terrifying. The most chilling tales are the ones that take something completely ordinary, something you do every single day without thinking, and twist it into a nightmare. The story we're about to get into does exactly that, and I guarantee you'll never look at an elevator ride the same way again.
So, let's set this scene. We're in South Korea. Think of a huge, modern city, buzzing with life. But like any city, once the sun goes down, it has its shadows. And our story starts in one of those quiet, ordinary corners.
The time? It's late, around midnight. The city's finally gone quiet. The kind of quiet where every little sound seems amplified. Picture this. A young woman, probably tired after a long day at work, is just walking home. It's a walk she's done hundreds of times. She's on autopilot, you know, just thinking about getting inside, kicking off her shoes. And really, that's all she wants. It's a feeling we all know, right? That desperate need to just get behind your own front door, lock it, and finally feel safe. To shut out the entire world. That's the goal. She makes it inside her building and steps into the elevator. Okay, she's almost there. This little metal box is the last step. Just a few floors up and she's home. She can finally relax.
She pushes her floor button and the doors start their slow slide shut. That little space between the doors gets smaller and smaller.
And then a hand shoots through the gap, stopping them. A man steps in. And just like that, the atmosphere in that tiny box changes completely.
And right away, something is off. He says sorry, for startling her. The words are polite, but his actions, they're screaming the opposite. He won't look at her. He just stares at the floor. And that little alarm bell in the back of her mind starts to ring. Then it gets weirder. He asks what floor she's going to. Normal enough, I guess. But then he reaches out and presses the button for the floor right below hers, just one floor down. How strange is that? Then he asks if he can borrow her phone. Okay, that's it. Alarm bells are now screaming. Her gut is telling her something is seriously wrong. She just says no and presses herself into the corner, trying to create as much space as humanly possible between them. And then, silence. The only sound is the low hum of the elevator climbing. Can you imagine the tension in that little box? Every single second must have felt like an hour.
Finally, that beautiful sound. Ding! The elevator stops at his floor. You can just feel the wave of relief, right? It's over. He's leaving. But he doesn't just get out. He walks out, slowly, deliberately, almost like he's putting on a show. And he doesn't keep walking. He gets out, turns around, and just stares at her. No expression, just watching her through the open doors. The doors start to close again, and for that 1 second, she must have felt like she could finally breathe. Those metal doors are her shield, separating her from him. Her eyes are glued to that shrinking gap of light, that last little window to the hallway outside. And in that sliver of space, she sees it, a glint of light on polished steel. He pulls a knife out of his pocket. Then, in the last horrifying second before the doors lock shut, he turns and sprints directly for the stairwell. He's not leaving. He's racing her to her floor. So why? Why does a story like that get under our skin and just stay there? There's no ghost, no monster. The horror is something so much closer to home. And when you figure out why it's so effective, you learn a lot about what truly scares us. The real terror here is that it feels so possible. It's plausible. As this quote points out, these stories are scary because you feel like it could have happened to someone you know. It doesn't sound like a movie. It sounds like something you'd hear on the 10 o'clock news. And that right there is the very definition of an urban legend. It's a modern-day folktale, a cautionary story for our times, where the danger isn't in a haunted house. It's in the apartment building right next to yours. It's hiding in plain sight. If you really break it down, there's a formula to this kind of fear. First, it happens somewhere totally normal, an everyday place, like an elevator. Second, the victim is completely relatable. It could be you, your sister, your friend. Third, the threat isn't some monster, it's a person. But the real horror, the thing that makes it stick, it's the what if. The story ends right there, and your brain is left to imagine the rest. Did she get her key in the door in time? And that's why it's so unforgettable. It takes something we do without a second thought and injects it with pure terror. It makes you question a simple moment of trust that we all take for granted, which leaves you with a really unsettling question to ask yourself.
For more explainers that dig into stories like this one, make sure to follow our channel.